On this week's episode of A Beer and a Bet, we talked all things Mitch Beer Racing, reviews, previews, staking plans, and much, much more. Yes, hello, welcome to episode 7 of A Beer and a Bet. I'm Mick Gannon. Good afternoon, Mitch.
Ganno, what's happening?
Mate, just here again, episode 7. Unbelievable. They just keep churning it out. And some good feedback last week, I believe, on the rain-affected tracks and your opinions there.
Yeah, no, it was good. We try not to get too political. We're trying to have a bit of fun, but you've got to have an opinion on things. But no, it was good. Bit of feedback. The punters were happy to see the other side of things. So yeah, no, I think they could just relate in not being the only ones frustrated. So no, it was good. It was good. No live from Maruya car park this week. We're back on the home deck.
Yep, love it back at home. And there was a bit of racing there today, of course. We'll touch on some runners, obviously some winners. Zipperless got up, which was good. And we'll touch on some upcoming runners, the open day. Plenty ahead in this episode. But Zipperless was a nice win up there at Newcastle. Probably had favours of the track and the way the day panned out, but a still good win, good price, and has a future.
Just great to turn him around. Like, it's so hard when you have good faith in a horse and nothing's going right. And the thing you need is good people in the horse to keep supporting you. And the people in Zipperless have been so great. He was a tragedy beat first up at Canberra. Nearly went through the inside fence, and then he's just had two terrible rides, no luck. And his last two have been great. He's gone from getting beaten at Albury and Goulburn to second at Hawkesbury and winning a 16-horse field at Newcastle on a Saturday in a really decent race. Like, that race will rate really well. So he's back. He's back in form. He's a nice horse, and he's pulled up great. So well done to those connections that have really stuck solid. And that was a 45 grand race plus Bob's on the weekend, and he's only tip of the iceberg with him. He's going to end up a nice city class horse.
Good future for him, and I know the owners are pretty happy. There's a couple of text messages and phone calls there exchanged after the race. So good on you guys. Really good to hear. And
I'll tell you, the only happier people than the owners of Zipperless were the table behind us. We went upstairs after November Falls and got on the sauce up at Ramwick, and there was a table of, I think there was about 12 of them behind us. They'd had the bus up for Newcastle. I think it was their Punters Club day out. Shout out to the lads. And the espresso martinis were flying. It was late in the day. So we'd already gone for the top shelf. And, with each espresso martini I've just got him winning by another length and another length and another length. And, he's $18. So I'm tipping him. I'm just like, man, he'll just win. So the chairman's rooms absolutely erupted like it was Everest Day for the class 1300 at Newcastle, and the lads have just absolutely erupted. And he's got the cash, and yeah, there was champagne flowing. It was up, and lo and behold, I've got the text message today that they've just taken 10% in the Ole Kirk filly. They've got a little taste, and the boys are in. So shout out to the lads. It's only downhill from here.
yeah, welcome to Mitch Beer Racing. As an owner, you have to put up with us every week, and make sure you come on down to the open day. Was it 1A Kingston Town Place? Is it
14, but 14. Close enough. Yeah, no drums. You're our data and stats man, and you got us pegged.
I'm not your postman.
Yeah,
not your
that's
postman.
fine. That's fine.
You should be 1A anyway. If you're not, we'll make sure that happens by the end of the year, and we'll get to the goals for the new year later on in the show. So you got short notice there to touch on those. It was good to see November Falls put in another good performance in a midway. What's that? Three Saturdays with fortnight breaks in town. She's such a great horse. She keeps trying, and we might see her go around again.
That's what's brilliant about these races. Like, she's no star. She's not going to change anyone's life. She was getting beat at Albury and Wagga before we moved up here, and she had 3 starts in a midway company for 2 seconds and a third, and she's put close to 60 grand in the bank. It's unbelievable. The prize money it's like winning a Saturday race for the preparation without winning one. So she's been terrific, and we'll head back Saturday week with her, either to the mile or the 1800. But yeah, she's gonna get her one. But yeah, she's so honest, and you'd love 10 of her.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And yeah, whether it's the 1800 meters or the 1600 meters, a style and she just continues to run a place. So, place punter's pal anyway. She looked, she looked like
Not for me.
she looked like she was gone
Yeah,
at
there was
the,
no place punting on my behalf. If it wasn't for Zipperlist,
yeah.
you're doing this podcast from me delivering pizzas. Speaking of, I've actually got one about 10 minutes away. So if I have to interrupt,
No, you're right.
this, but yeah, I've got Uber Eats on the go. I'm multitasking here. So if I have
What
to,
pizza did you order? You're a bit of a pizza
I'm
connoisseur, are
still
you?
yet to find, I'm working my way through pizza options
Yep.
down here in the Gong. They've been absolutely atrocious, to be honest. You need that quintessential
Mm.
local pizza, two large garlic bread and a max.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I'm struggling. So I'll rate this one in next week. But they've been absolutely benchmark 58 non-tap pizzas so far. So I'm not happy. That's a one downfall I've found here. So if someone's got a good Kembla Gong pizza link, please hit us up.
Speaking of links, I noticed Bolter, our potential one-day potential beer sponsors. I'm drinking a Bolter Captain Sensible again, doing the right thing, being sensible, and they sponsored a benchmark 64 today. You think there'd be room for us in their marketing budget?
If they can sponsor a 64 at Kembla, they can sponsor a benchmark 50 podcast for sure.
Absolutely, probably more eyes on the benchmark 58 podcast than the 64. Hey, no knock, of course. Hey, mate, lightly sparkled. She was all right. She was all right. She ran 4:07. Probably on what you could have suggested the inferior ground. Haven't had a good look at it yet, but nice little debut for her there at on the Kensington track.
Yeah, she's a really nice filly. She just got a bit lost when she come off heels, and I mean, ultimately she's run fourth. The horse in front of her has run third, got beat a length and a half to Manal last preparation, and the winner was they paid 1.1 for. So I think she was in
Yeah,
good enough company for a $30,000 classic filly. She was in good enough company for a Wednesday. I think that's as soft as what she wanted as well. She's far better on top of the ground. She's in the paddock. She'll be back in a month. She's a city class horse. I really, really like her. Far from the finished product, but a great experience for her yesterday, and good for her owners. Quite a few of them out there yesterday, and I think they'll be getting back to town a hell of a lot more once she turns 3, and we see her, end of spring, Christmas time.
Yep, she was really good. Plenty of upside. So really keen to see where she goes to when she returns from her break there, mate. What do you got there? Is it a stock standard Asahi for you this
Just an
evening?
Asahi.
Yeah, nice. Straight
On
nut.
Asahi, I've got the golf on in the background, which is just
Oh,
I got goosebumps. That first tee at the Open, it's just unreal. I've got about 87 multis going on. I just can't see how I lose. I cannot see. I went through them again
yeah,
when I turned the TV on, and I just thought, well, they'll shut me down. Sportsbet will shut me down after this
yeah,
because
hopefully.
I've got 14 of them absolutely pinged. I had quite a few beers a while ago, unsurprisingly, and accidentally had all these multis into Colin Morikawa winning the Open. But this was like 4 months ago, and I meant to have it for that weekend,
Yeah.
wherever the golf was. So I've had
Oh,
when you get those like live multis,
yeah,
long range,
yeah.
and it's like 2 months, like a grand final or a group one, and they're just there, and you don't think about them, and then all of a sudden it's time, and you're like, hang on, I'm on here. I'm absolutely on.
Love it. Bit of Colin Morikawa. Has he teed off yet?
No, I reckon I'll be asleep or getting up for the first lot to go out by the time Colin tees off. But mate, how good! Like
Oh,
I
it's
know
the
we've got
best.
quite a few out of the 9 people that listen to this podcast. I know 7 of them like golf, so
Mate,
it's
you'd
a
be
magical
shocked. You
weekend.
should see the numbers that watch this podcast and listen to this podcast. It's outrageous. I know you don't do the back end stuff, but it's phenomenal.
You're our data man.
There's at least 25 people watching this. So Um, it's
Because
phenomenal. Hey, speaking of golf and pizza, well, we've got a golf day coming up. We'll confirm those details soon. But open day, 4th of August, and the message came across from Steph the other day saying, "Oh, Mitch has asked you to get on the microphone and say a few words." So that's going to be interesting. So apologies in advance for anyone who turns up on the day, but I'm really looking forward to the pizza.
yeah, well, we had a few people teed up, but being a Sunday, we couldn't get them. So I said to Steph, just ask,
Just ask
just
Addo.
ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be doing nothing.
Brad
But
Davidson
yeah,
was going to
no,
charge you
looking
too much,
for.
was
I
he?
think we've had a large number of people RSVP, which is it's great. But then Steph sent me through the catering deposit. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna need 3 winners before the end of the season, or it'll be absolute sausage. The wood fired pizzas will be cancelled. It'll be
Sausage sizzle.
um yeah, sausage sizzle those, and not even the good sausages. I'm talking like the 84 pack, just sawdust and
Well, if all else fails, there's a
filler.
Bunnings across the road. It is a Sunday. So if you're hungry, we can just send you across there and you can whip back around and you'll be fine. No, the pizza will be there. It'll be great. Bit of
Hey,
pasta.
that Bunnings, the
Yeah.
Bunnings across the road from Kembla, they could do dining packages on Gong Day. You go up the escalator,
Yeah.
there, and the whole glass front looks out over the race course. It's magic, mate.
There you go.
I'd have an apartment up there on top of Bunnings. It's absolutely smick. Best. Sometimes I go up there and I can still see into my stables.
Yeah.
I ring my staff and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
What
at
are you
Bunnings.
doing?
I can get that horse off the walker.
Too good. Well, speaking of winners, let's have a look forward at some horses going around tomorrow, being Friday, the 19th of July. Mount Warning heads to Queanbeyan. What are your thoughts on Mount Warning? Correa Keatings to ride.
Going well. Saddle sort of slipped and it didn't work out last start. But geez, that the thing of Matt Dale's the top weight. It won like winks at Goulburn the other day. It won by 6. It'll be $1.10, and probably deservedly so. So lovely race for her, but we probably just need a chink in the favourite's armour to beat it. I think it's got us covered. But I worked for a very good trainer for a long time, Russell Cameron, and he said to me, if you think a race is too strong, that's fine. Look for another one, but never dodge one horse, because the amount of times they either get scratched or something goes wrong. But if you're only worried about one, you should run, because there's still plenty of dollar 20 pops that go under or don't go around for one reason or another. And yeah, I've always stuck by that theory, and it's proven right plenty of times. And worst case scenario, you run second, pick up some prize money, and go again.
Nothing wrong with running second, because you just get to another throw at the stumps in the same grade and you get good prize money. And that's the advantage of the prize money we are racing for, especially here in New South Wales. You run second a couple of times, then you get a win and away you go. It's a fruitful exercise. Hurricane Thunder race 7. Is this a horse that's going to pay for the pizza and pasta?
No comment, because you'll get me again with the staking plan. Although Scarlet Prince went terrible. I was
Yeah.
disappointed in him. There's no excuse. He's just not gone good enough. And yeah, he was disappointing. But I'm all in on the big Hurricane Thunder. We need 2 scratchings, right? Because the race was, I wasn't going to run him there, but the noms was so bad
Yeah.
that we threw him in. So when you're a late nomination, you go to the bottom of the ballot. So that's why he's got 61, but he's second emergency. But I reckon he's a chance of getting a run. And if he does, you'll see me front and center at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon in the Queanbeyan Mounting Yard, just on my hands and knees, just like this, because he can pay for the weekend. Big Hurricane Thunder. Just
Good.
don't worry about his second start. It was just a disaster. But we reset. We went down to Maruya. He got back. He flew home. He's got the magician Nick Suke on tomorrow, who's just my favorite jockey in the whole world. Drawn 3, he'll be leaders back. He'll just peel off him and pay for the weekend.
Love that. Reward with a rose. Can she bounce back for Suke in race 8?
She was good first up. I think she really appreciated the heavy. She's not going to get that tomorrow, but then all but certain she got her tongue over the bit last start, and it was just a total forgive. So put a tongue tie on her. She's worked well, and she should be able to capture some of form, but probably be looking for a heavier track.
Love that. Good stuff. Outside of those three going to Queen Beans, pretty quiet week for the stable. Old Greg, favorite of mine, goes to Hawkesbury potentially on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah, we'll have a look. There's a benchmark 66 down at the Sapphire Coast, which he loves.
Oof,
Just needs
don't they
another
all?
lap. Just needs another lap, and he'll be fine. Oh, I've already speaking of that, Gano.
Mm.
I'm going to take a truckload down to the Sapphire Coast next Sunday. Stay Sunday night.
Yeah.
Have an early Monday 18 holes at Chura Beach, and
Oh,
then
good track.
hit the road home.
Good track. I like that.
Couple
Good
take a
play.
couple down there. Couple down there to pay for the trip.
Yep.
I thought Highballer could maybe go down there. There's that in running that 66 mile with a claim. He wasn't that bad. Second up the other day, nothing went right. Back to country grade.
Ooh.
Got a horse
He'd do a number on them.
ordered a charge in a
Ooh.
class one maiden mile. Goes to the front, finds the fence. Got form around a Grafton Guineas winner yesterday,
Oh yeah.
which you
Rats.
alluded me to. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
So
may have tipped it, yeah.
I'm thinking the one Sunday at the Sapphire Coast could turn into a 3-day trip.
With any luck. With any luck. That'll be a huge outcome. Anything else going down there, or do you think they're just just a handful?
No,
Three or
I
four?
think no, we could have a few. We could have a few head down that way. I might drop that Vegas Dream back to 1200, back to 58 grade. Yeah, no. If we're going down there, we're going down there.
Yep.
We're going down there with a bang. We have good
Hopefully.
luck down at the Sapphire Coast.
Yep.
And they have cold beer, fresh oysters. They've got a lovely golf course. I don't have to sell this. I don't have to sell it. It's just the greatest. It's the greatest place on earth. I love going there. I just hate going there and not staying a night or two.
Love it. Well, hopefully go down there, 7 races. We can take 5 horses down there and
That
win
too.
five
I'm
of
going to
them.
ring the Sapphire Coast Turf Club and say, listen,
Yeah.
we've just given you the greatest rap of all time to 45 active listeners on our podcast. Any chance?
Yeah.
We might get a vest or a hat out of them at least.
Something. Maybe they got their own beer down there. That'd be at least. Or send us some oysters. Well, let's do it. Let's go straight into staking plan, and then we've got a few more things to touch on. As you talked about favorite jockeys, I've got a few questions on some jockeys and some interesting jockey premiership stuff. But
I got a few questions on some jockeys as well.
yeah,
But we can't talk about that because I'll get in trouble.
yeah, not the line of questioning you're after. Hey, let's go staking plan. Barry, kick us off. Anything you like, anywhere across Australia this week. $100.
I'll be having 100 on Hurricane Thunder,
That's
and
it.
if he doesn't get a run, I'm out. No bet.
I bet. All right. Well, we're going to go to Steph because I said we are racing at Flemington this week.
Did you tell her where we're racing this week?
Yes. And she wrote back with some aggression and then said she's keen get a fix for our man Tom Papley. He's involved in that horse. That's race 1 at Rose Hill. She wants 50 to win on it. And Morphettville race 5, Heinous. Well, she'll have $50 on it as well.
I can't believe, geez, she's come a long way, Steph, because she's gone Adelaide, Sydney, and she's such a Victorian.
Yeah, she's versatile, and she's giving me some comments as well for those who are interested in the comments. Get a fix. Trialed against the older horses first up, been gelded. Think he'll improve. Wow, watch out,
We'll
China.
be paying for this Steph's subscription soon. I tell you,
Absolutely. And then
with
Heinous,
comments and everything.
Morphettville race 5, very talented filly who got scratched at the gates in Queensland. Jazz, I'm guessing might be the trainer, has rated very successfully into SA this season. Ooh. All right. Well, she's been on fire.
You're out of a job.
Yeah, I'm out of a job. Well, that's all right. I'll take you to race 3.
Jeff will be tipping for Hotbet next week, and you'll be doing transfers of ownerships for me.
Absolutely. She'll do a better job. She probably need to do both, to be fair. Hey, I'm going to go with our man, Kerry, across the road. Good man, Kerry Parker. He's got a horse in race 3, number
40
8.
to 1 winner. 40 to 1 winner today at Kembla.
Mate, where's the text,
Spend
Kerry?
4 hours a morning next to him. No tip. No
tip.
nothing.
Nah.
There'll be the coffee lady's bill will be getting sent straight to him in the morning.
I got half a push for his first starter in the first race, but nothing for the first starter in race three that paid $41 if you don't mind. But he has Herb in race three, number eight, and that's around $14. I think you could have, let's just have 25 the win and 75 the place on Herb Rose Hill race three. I think Get a Fix is a great bet as well, but I can't steal Seth Thunder because I'd hate to slow one of hers down. She's been doing too
Oh,
well.
you don't mind when it's me?
No, I don't mind. No, there's enough weight to carry with you, but for old Steph, we
Oh,
don't want to do that to Steph. She's a legend. All right, where are we off to next? So a bit of a disaster for old Nash Rawiller. He rode a few winners. A couple, was it last Saturday? But he got a fine for overuse of the whip. And a bit of a discussion point on radio the other day was, well, should these jockeys just be given a fine? Especially when it's not a dangerous riding or a careless riding charge. It's just an overuse of the whip. He's been given 5 days, which equates to just the Wednesday meeting for Nash. First of all, in the context, Beery, Nash and J Mac are in a huge, huge battle for a premiership. Nash being three rides wins off him, but even more context, if I may, we're in an industry where we're struggling for eyes on the prize and people watching and engaging in our sport. And I would be surprised if the punting turnover and the eyes on the sport weren't significant at Randwick on Wednesday, and we'll unfortunately won't get to see that next Wednesday. In the ideal world, how do you see something like this unfolding?
I think the more the racing has evolved, the less people care about premierships.
Yeah.
Um, I think the media sort of pushed the premierships a little bit, but no one cares. No one in the industry really talks about who's leading the premiership. It's not a conversation that people having around the traps and around the stables. Maybe some of the older, but I think the younger generation, no one really cares. They care about jockeys that are riding winners. They care about jockeys that are riding Group One winners. Who's winning the big races. I don't think who wins a premiership that it entices you to use them any more than if they don't, or where they finish on a premiership. I think it's a great achievement for whoever does it from a training point of view or a jockey's point of view. But I don't know. I feel like maybe in the 80s and the 90s, premierships were a massive thing. I just think we're racing for such bigger things now and have such bigger races that I feel like if the media sort of didn't push the barrow for the premierships as much as it did, it'd fizzle out 10 times quicker.
Yeah, yeah, you're spot on. I think we do push the barrow a little bit, but you need a narrative in this game, and you need to be pushing something. Because I would say my suggestion and my thoughts on it just quickly would be that the turnover and the eyes on midweek racing on the Kensington track last Wednesday would be higher than what we'll see at Canterbury next Wednesday, purely because of the Nash and the JMac factor. And if you're an industry participant in the depths that you are, training horses, then I completely understand the absolutely zero care factor. But for the battlers out here, just
Yeah.
having a look and interested, and if you're watching, engaging, you might just have $5 on it. And if that's $5 more than what you're going to have next Wednesday at Canterbury, what's the answer? Hey, I don't know what the answer is. Do you let him take the suspension in 2 weeks' time? Who knows? Don't know what it is, but I think that we can sometimes play in the grey where we need to. And if it means engaging fans more, maybe it's something we need to consider. Speaking of jockeys, J Mac, he's about to win another jockey premiership. It looks like all over bar the fighting now. If you were J Mac, well, you'd be in a bigger house, and you'd have a lot more money. But would you consider going to Hong Kong now as a sort of 3 or 4 year move? He's done everything he can in Australia. Like, what's he got left to do here?
100%. Like I think he's proven himself at a global scale, and it also comes back to a lifestyle.
Yeah.
He's one of the single most hardest working and determined people I've ever seen in this industry. Incredible work ethic, incredible respect for the game, and wouldn't know the meaning of the word complacency. He's
Mm.
just operates on a different level, and his life is evolving and changing. He's now a dad, and he's got a family, and he has to. I wouldn't say it's easier in Hong Kong, but it's a different lifestyle, and
Yeah.
it's probably a lifestyle that allows him to spend a lot more time with his family, and that's probably a massive factor in his priorities now. It's not just about his career; he's got something a lot bigger than that. So, I don't think it's this thing like people say, oh, about taking the money and it's the cash that takes you to Hong Kong. It's a lifestyle, I think, that
Mm.
first and foremost takes you to Hong Kong. And I think, if he went there, it'd be a sad, it's not sad, but be a loss. But I'd certainly, support, in my view, him going to Hong Kong, and not forever. Maybe you go there for 3 or 4 years and get to see kids grow up a little bit more. And I think whatever he does will be the right decision, because it'll be a decision that he makes for himself and his family, and not for anyone else.
Yeah, spot on. And yeah, he'll whatever. If that ever happens, no doubt he'll make the right decision because, as you said, he's a professional. Dots the I's, crosses the T's. It'd be great to see him go over there and cement his position as probably top two best jockeys in the world. I think if he goes there and he dominates there, it's he and Ryan Moore. I think he's better than Ryan Moore personally. Everyone will tell you he's not, but I want to see Ryan come over here and ride for the big bucks on a consistent basis. I'd love to see that. Hey, Beery, speaking of being serious now, I'm going to be a little bit serious this time, and I've given you about 5 minutes to prepare for this. I want to hear some goals for Mitch Beer Racing 2024-25 season. What have you got for us? What do you kind of think in your mind can I tick off in this next season? And then I'll share some of mine.
I think next season's our first full year of our new stable, so to speak, our new provincial stable. And I try not to get too carried away with setting massive goals. I mean, I remember when I first started training at Mornington, I just wanted to be Chris Waller, straight away. And it ate away at me over 12 months. And then I hated it. I was so depressed and I hated training. And I just thought, I'm so far away from that. I'm never going to get there. And when I moved to Albury, I said, right, well, I'm fresh start. I'm just going to take each day as it comes, do our best, stay in the moment a bit more, not get too carried away, not set the bar too high. And my love for the industry and my passion, just came back straight away. And I think it's incredible. I was only talking about this to another trainer yesterday, that how much I love working the stables. I love making feeds. I love putting horses on and off the walker, and it's just I love it. And now doing that with better horses and winning better races, it just gets a blood pumping. And I think next year, I think we can really step up to be a really competitive provincial stable, with great access now to Sydney. And I think the horses that we've got coming through will allow us to do that, and the support we're getting. So, yeah, I think targeting those sort of midway races and, just stepping up and transferring those winners from Albury and Wagga and Corora to your Newcastles and Hawkesbury's and Wyongs is a great step up. And I think now we're sort of getting the stock to be able to do that.
Yep, good stuff. Well, I'm all about just trying to find us fast horses. So if we can find as many fast horses as we can, job done there, and we'll keep doing that. And it's interesting because, a lot of the owners probably aren't aware of this, but the amount of horses that we're going after behind the scenes and looking in New Zealand and looking in Victoria and around the grounds and trying to find horses left, right, and centre. So, of course, if you're ever interested, Mitch at mitchbeerracing.com.au, let us know, or you can send me an email, of course, if you're on the hunt for one. Hopefully, we can steer you into another fast one, Beery. Hey, that's it. That's all we've got. All we've got time for, because your pizza, no doubt, is out the
I've
front,
just texted.
and I just probably halfway through it.
The James, one of the Irish lads that lives in the back half of the house,
Yeah.
he's in on the pizzas and the golf. So I've just been vigorously texting him down here. Probably see me look a little bit distracted. I'm not having a punt.
Yeah.
I'm sending him out the front because Yogesh was here 3 minutes ago, and he's blowing up the text line saying he's out the front. So I've never wanted to wrap something up more quickly in my life.
There it is. A Beer and a Bet, episode 7. Until next week.
Pizza.